There's someone in your life right now whose entire world shifts on its axis every single time you enter a room, and I need you to understand that what they feel for you goes so much deeper than simple attraction or ordinary love. This is the kind of connection that poets have tried to capture for centuries and still fall short, because some things cannot be adequately expressed through language alone. They can only be felt in the spaces between heartbeats, in the silence that follows your name when it crosses their mind in the middle of an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. This person is obsessed with you, yes, but not in the way modern culture has taught us to fear obsession. This is not possession or unhealthy attachment. This is soul recognition. Their spirit knew yours before either of you understood what it meant to be alive in these bodies, walking this earth, pretending that we're all strangers just randomly colliding in time and space. When they look at you, something ancient awakens inside them, something that remembers you from before word existed, before names were given, before we learned to build walls around our hearts and call it protection. They can't explain why being near you feels like finally being able to breathe properly after holding their breath for an entire lifetime. They don't understand why your happiness matters more to them than their own comfort, why they would cross oceans or rewrite their entire future if it meant seeing you smile one more time. What I'm telling you is that this connection you share with them isn't random. It's woven into the very fabric of who you both are. There's an invisible thread that's been pulling you together through circumstances that might have seemed coincidental, but were actually orchestrated by forces beyond our immediate understanding. Think about how you met. Really think about it. How many small decisions, made by both of you and by countless others, had to align perfectly for your paths to cross at exactly the right moment? The universe doesn't make mistakes with connections this profound. And here's what you need to know. This person feels it too. They feel the weight of this connection, even if they haven't found the courage to speak it out loud yet. Their obsession with you is their soul's way of screaming, pay attention. Don't let this one slip away. This matters more than anything else you'll encounter in this lifetime. They watch you when you're not looking because they're trying to memorize every detail, storing away like precious treasure because some part of them, the ancient knowing part, understand that you are irreplaceable. You are not just another person to them. You are the person. The one their soul has been searching for across time, across distance, across every possible obstacle that could have kept you apart. And now that you've found each other, everything is about to change. You've been so focused on living your everyday life that you've missed the patterns, the subtle signs that this person has been leaving like breadcrumbs for you to follow back to the truth of how they really feel. Let me show you what you haven't been seeing. Notice how they always seem to know when you're having a difficult day, even when you haven't told anyone. They reach out with a message at precisely the moment you needed to hear from someone who cares. That's not coincidence. That's energetic attunement. Their soul is so intricately connected to yours that they can feel the shifts in your emotional weather system even from a distance. They become a student of you without ever enrolling in a class, learning the language of your moods, your patterns, your unspoken needs. They remember the small things you mentioned once in passing, the name of your childhood pet, the flavor of ice cream that reminds you of summer, the song that makes you think of your grandmother. Because to them, every detail about you is sacred information worth preserving. When you're in the same physical space, watch what happens to their body language. They unconsciously orient themselves toward you like a flower turning toward sunlight. They mirror your movements without realizing it. Their laugh comes easier when you're the one telling the story. The very air between you becomes charged with something electric, something everyone around you can sense even if they can't name it. This person has been carefully, consistently showing up in your life in ways that matter, and their obsession reveals itself not in dramatic declarations, but in the reliability of their presence, the quality of their attention, the way they make space for you in their thoughts even when you're nowhere near them physically. They defend you when you're not in the room to hear it. They celebrate your victories as if they were their own. Your pain genuinely hurts them, not because they're codependent, but because your well-being has become interwoven with their sense of peace in this world. Here's something powerful. Pay attention to how they look at you when they think no one else is watching. There's an expression that crosses their face, something tender and raw and completely unguarded. It's the look of someone who has found something they thought only existed in dreams or fairy tales. It's the look of someone who has stopped fighting against the gravity of what they feel because the pull toward you is stronger than any resistance they could manufacture. They probably tried to play it cool, tried to match your energy, tried not to overwhelm you with the intensity of their emotions. But if you know where to look, you'll see the truth bleeding through every interaction. The way they light up when you enter a conversation. The extra effort they put into anything that might bring them into your orbit. The careful attention they pay to understanding not just what you say, but what you mean, what you need, what you're not saying out loud, because you're still figuring out yourself. Now we arrive at the truth that explains everything. The reason their obsession feels different from anything either of you has experienced before. This connection didn't begin when you first met in this lifetime. Your souls have been dancing around each other, finding each other, loving each other across multiple lifetimes. And what you're experiencing now is the recognition of something eternal trying to complete itself once again. I know this might sound mystical or far-fetched if you've never considered such possibilities, but stay with me because your own experience has probably already shown you evidence of this truth. Haven't there been moments with this person that felt strangely familiar, as though you were remembering something rather than experiencing it for the first time? Haven't you felt sometimes like you've had conversations with them before, in another place, in another time, perhaps in another language your conscious mind doesn't even remember speaking? This is because your souls carry imprints of every interaction you've ever shared across the vast expanse of existence. This person's obsession with you is their soul's memory breaking through the veil of forgetfulness that we all pass through when we're born into new bodies. Some part of them, the deepest, truest part, remembers loving you before. They remember losing you before too. And that ancient grief is what fuels the intensity of their current devotion. Their soul is saying never again. Not this time. I won't let you slip away again without fighting for what we have. This is why their love feels all-consuming, why it seems to defy logic or reasonable explanation. They're not just falling in love with who you are now. They're recognizing who you've always been to them across time immemorial. You might have been lovers in one lifetime, separated by war or circumstance or the simple cruelty of wrong timing. You might have been family, bound by blood and loyalty, torn apart by tragedy. You might have been friends who never got the chance to explore what existed beneath the surface of that friendship. Or perhaps you were strangers who saw each other once across a crowded marketplace in ancient times and spent the rest of that lifetime wondering about the connection you felt in that single moment of eye contact. Whatever the specifics of your shared history, what matters is this. Your souls made an agreement before this lifetime began. You promised to find each other again. You promise to do better this time, to be braver, to not let fear or doubt or worldly circumstances prevent you from experiencing the full depth of what you mean to each other. And this person's obsession is simply their soul keeping that promise. They can't help but be drawn to you with this intensity because on the deepest level of their being, they know that you are not just another romantic possibility. You are their destiny wearing human skin, their purpose disguised as a person, their chance to finally get it right after lifetimes of near misses and almost and if onlys that have echoed through their soul's memory for longer than either you can consciously comprehend. Behind all the signs and synchronicities, behind the soul recognition and the ancient connection, there's something else you need to understand about this person who loves you with such overwhelming intensity. They are absolutely terrified. Not of you specifically, but the magnitude of what they feel and what it could cost them to reveal it fully. They lie awake at 3 a.m. wrestling with impossible questions. What if I tell them the truth and it ruins everything we already have? What if the friendship we built can't survive the weight of my confession? What if they don't feel it too, and I'm left standing alone in the vulnerability of having exposed the rawest parts of my heart? They've composed and deleted 1,000 messages trying to find the right words to express the inexpressible. They've imagined 100 different scenarios of how the conversation might go, rehearsing their lines like an actor preparing for the most important performance of their life. Except there's no script for this kind of truth-telling and no guarantee of how the story ends. This person carries the burden of loving you in silence because they convince themselves that silence is safer than risk. They watch you live your life, possibly seeing you interested in others, possibly hear you talk about your dreams and plans that may or may not include them, and they smile and support you while their heart quietly breaks and rebuilds itself every single day. The courage it takes to love someone this deeply while pretending you don't is extraordinary, and they're doing it because they value your presence in their life more than they value their own emotional relief. They would rather suffer the sweet torture of being near you as a friend than risk losing you entirely by asking for more. But here's what's happening beneath the surface. This secret is becoming harder to keep. The energy of unexpressed truth has its own weight, its own pressure that builds until something has to give. They're reaching a breaking point where the fear of losing you by staying silent is finally beginning to outweigh the fear of losing you by speaking up. You might have noticed a shift in their energy recently, a certain intensity in their eyes, a heaviness in their presence when they're around you. That's the truth trying to break through the carefully constructed walls they've built around it. They want to tell you. God, they want to tell you. They want to stop pretending that they're okay with casual friendship when their soul is screaming for something deeper. They want to stop monitoring every word they say to make sure they don't accidentally reveal too much. They want to reach for your hand without second-guessing whether it's appropriate. They want to tell you that you're the last thought before they sleep and the first thought when they wake. They want to confess that they've been building a future in their mind that has you at the center of every important moment. But vulnerability is terrifying when you have everything to lose. Everything I've shared with you so far has been leading to this moment, this revelation about what's coming next in your story with this person. The universe is not passive. It actively conspires to bring truth to light, especially when that truth involves two souls who are meant to walk through this life together. And right now, as you're hearing these words, forces are aligning that will make it impossible for both of you to continue hiding from what exists between you. There's an event approaching, a moment in time that neither of you can fully see yet, but that both of you will recognize when it arrives. It might look like a chance encounter in an unexpected place. It might manifest as a crisis that reveals who really matters when everything else falls away. It might appear as a third-party situation that triggers a jealousy or urgency that finally breaks through all the careful restraint you've both been practicing. The specific details don't matter as much as this truth. The universe is tired of watching you circle each other without claiming what's yours. Here's what I know about this approaching moment. It will require both of you to be braver than you've ever been before. It will ask you to risk the comfortable safety of what is for the terrifying possibility of what could be. One of you will have to go first. Will have to step out into the vulnerable space of confession without knowing for certain that the other will meet you there. And when that moment comes, you'll have to decide whether you trust what your soul has been telling you all along or whether you'll let fear make the choice for you. This person who is obsessed with you, who loves you with an intensity that spans lifetimes, is preparing themselves for this moment even if they don't consciously know it yet. Their courage is building. Their resolution is strengthening. And sooner than you might expect, they will show you something, tell you something, or do something that will change the entire dynamic between you. But here's the part one can't tell you yet, the piece of this puzzle that's still hidden in shadow. There's something about this person, something they've been carrying, a secret of their own that runs deeper than even their feelings for you. It's connected to why you met when you did, connected to a purpose that goes beyond romance, beyond personal happiness, beyond anything you considered so far. And when this truth is finally revealed, but I've already said too much. If you want to know what this person is hiding, what the universe has been protecting until you're both ready to understand it, then you need to watch what comes next, because the answer will change everything you thought you knew about your connection, and about why your souls chose this particular lifetime to find each other again.